Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod here to talk about Survivor Season 46, Episode 7, titled Episode Several. Last week on Survivor, the players were in Mergatory, with half of them earning their merge and the other half going to Tribal, where ultimately Mo had to go and was shown the dough. Before I dive in, I put a link below to my playlist where you can catch up on my previous recaps. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. Let's dive into it. The survivors get back to camp and celebrate being merged. They named their merged tribe Nui Nui. Venus is hurt. She saw her name written down and thinks it was Soda. We all know it was Charlie. Venus and Soda walk off into the jungle squabbling as they do.
Watching Soda and Venus is kind of the hottest tea of the night.
Charlie then randomly announces to Venus that he was the vote for her. Q is the strategy police of the season. He will pull you over. So he pulls Charlie over to teach him a lesson about how to play the game, which annoys Charlie and makes him want Q out. At night, Ben is having a panic attack and Kenzie holds his hand and helps him get through the night. It was a great Benzie friendship moment and really showed how loving and compassionate Kenzie is. They arrive at their immunity challenge, Endurance, balancing on a floating triangle. Jeff reveals the immunity necklace, and you better like it because Jeff has been up all night following the beating guide to make this thing. This week will be a split tribal where they split into two groups with two people winning immunity. The single person who lasts the longest will earn reward for their group and they'll go to tribal second, meaning whoever's voted out first will not be on the jury. They get started and the teams are purple with Charlie, Maria, Tevin, Venus, Liz, and Soda, and yellow, Ben, Tim, Kenzie, Q, Tiffany, and Hunter. Jeff announces,
"In honor of Jelensky, you've been up here several minutes."
And this is the closest we get this episode to someone saying the episode title, which on one hand makes me sad, but on the other hand, buy Jelensky's t-shirts. During a transition, Q and Soda are first out. The players are being silly and entertaining Jeff, especially Tim, who's kicking his biggest nemesis, a platform, in the water's butt. Eventually, Jeff tells them to go on one foot, which takes out a lot of people at once. Everyone except Tevin and Maria on purple, with Kenzie being the last yellow player to fall, giving her immunity. The last two face off, with Maria staying steady and winning immunity and reward for her tribe. Jeff sends them back to camp and tells the losing yellow team they'll be going to Siga Beach. Could be worse. Purple team has 4 old Nami in Venus, Tevin, Liz, and Soda, and 2 Sigas with Maria and Charlie. Venus thinks they're going to target Charlie, but Tevin says this is his time to strike against one of his own. On the yellow team, they have 3 old Yanus, 2 Sigas in Ben and Tim, and Hunter from Nami. Q tells us he threw the challenge today. Tim wants to take out Hunter while they can, but Q tells us that Tim wants to be in too many alliances, so Q wants to target Tim. Back at purple, Charlie asks for help. Soda tells Charlie that she's down to turn on Venus. Soda brings this plan to Tevin, but Tevin's been plotting on Soda for episodes, so Tevin sees this as a potential good time to turn on Soda. He brings the idea back to Liz, who's down for it. Tevin goes back to Charlie and Maria. Venus starts this round thinking Charlie's the obvious vote, but she offers Maria her vote for Tevin. Maria is not down and basically sees Venus as desperate. Then Venus goes to Charlie and presents breaking up Tevin and Soda. Venus follows up with Maria, and Maria tells Venus she's pressuring her and needs to back off on her approach, while Venus is annoying Maria. Following up on the ideas that you present someone is a good way to show someone that you're serious. Heading into this tribal, Maria and Charlie feel like they're in control of the vote. At the yellow tribe, the Yanu 3 tell Hunter he's safe, but he still considers using his idol. Ben is hoping for the Yanus to help him. Ben tells Q that he's okay with getting votes on him with the goal of getting Hunter out, so Q runs this back to Tiffany and Kenzie, telling them that they need to vote for Ben. The girls think Ben is bluffing and don't want to go along with Q's plan. They head to tribal first, and style icon Kenzie has turned her buff into a bow. Conversation at Tribal is the Yano 3 controlling this vote. Hunter says that Nami in general are a mess and the Sigas are loyal. Tim defends the Sigas and Ben gets emotional about his breakdown and says that Kenzie was there for him. Ben says he's happy he made a bond with someone because in the real world he struggles to make connections. Kenzie also gets emotional because the guys helped her through the merge challenge and it hurts her to vote one of them out. Q gives a further character witness for Kenzie, saying that Kenzie won the challenge and was a support for them at Yanu, and leads the tribe in a full round of applause for Kenzie. Jeff reads the votes and Tim is voted out by a vote of 4-2, with the Yanus having sided with Hunter. So we lose Tim here. On the way out, he refers to himself as the sexiest guy to ever do this. So it's obvious he sees himself as a very comedic character. In the beginning of the game, I thought he was in a bad spot because he wasn't included in the Charlie's Angels alliance, and the show made it seem like his bond with Maria was BS and that Maria was going to turn on him, but he was in pretty good standing with the Siga tribe actually, being part of a core 4 alliance that if it weren't for this split tribal really could have gone far. He was pretty good at challenges, though comically bad with the floating platform. Also, they showed Tim complaining about constipation and never gave us an update on his poop, so Edgic is dead. At the Purple Tribal, Charlie says he feels like the odd man out, being the only Siga eligible to be voted out. Nami are playing up that they're sticking together. Maria says she doesn't feel like anyone approached her at all, and Liz announces she didn't even bring her bag. Charlie pulls out his shot in the dark, and Venus says she thinks she'll be the victim of the shot in the dark if it hits. At the voting, Charlie doesn't play his shot in the dark, so the game is obviously afoot. Jeff reads the votes, and by a vote of also 4-2, with Tevin as the only vote in her favor, Soda is voted out, giving a teary goodbye and exchanging hugs with Venus, who gives Soda her props on the way out. And we lose Soda here, who had a big personality but didn't really get a lot of screen time. She provided us with some great musical moments. She was in the mood to win some food. Her story in the game was pretty simple, with her tribe winning every immunity challenge pre-merge. The amount of downtime that the Nami tribe had definitely worked against her, because Tevin was plotting against her a lot. I think if Nami actually would have lost a little, Tevin and Soda would have been bonded closer together. I'm left off not sure if Tevin really was voting to support Soda at this tribal, or if he's just acting for that jury vote. Overall, I feel like we were a little bit shortchanged from Soda, because I think there's a great player there. I think she's a fun person to be the mayor of Ponderosa, though. Also, not to speak out on something, but the way that people treated Soda on Twitter was disgusting. They ganged up on her, backed her into a corner, and forced her to delete. Nothing but love for Soda from Reality Art Pod. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Give me a like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I'll be back next Wednesday with more Survivor. Until then, have a nice weekend. Bye!